I hear your phone dinging. How are you, dude?
I'm good, man. How are you? Hello, Internet. How is everybody? I'm good. Just hanging at home. My phone is blowing up as usual.
By the way, happy birthday. Your birthday was Monday, right? Or no, Sunday.
Sunday. And happy birthday to you, too.
Thank you.
We're right here, Maiden Chick. See? Hi. So how cool is it that Rick Nielsen wished you a happy birthday and shared the no cover thing again?
So cool, man. I mean, that's like one of my heroes, and I've done, like, we were talking. So last week we had Dax Nielsen, who's Rick Nielsen's son, who's now the drummer in Cheap Trick. We had Dax and Dave McClain on, had an awesome talk, a great chat. And he lives kind of in the area around Chicago, well, Rockford.
He does.
So it was super cool. And Rick had actually already made some, I think, kind of a post and said something about that he really liked Auf Wiedersehen. And
he did. He posted the video. He shared the video a couple weeks ago, which was a total shock. I had no idea. We had no idea he was doing it. And then just one day, and it was a couple days after he posted. I didn't even see it at first. And then I see it all over his socials. I'm like, holy shit, man. And
he's blowing it up, man. I know, it's so cool. And then, to give a birthday shout out to me yesterday, that was just really super awesome. And you showed it to me today. I didn't even notice that had happened. So, super, super awesome. So, Rick, thank you. Namaste. I appreciate that as well.
Well, the other thing yesterday that was really cool is David did an interview that aired nationally on Lou Brutus on Hard Drive. So, and it was super cool. They played off Wiedersehen, and there was a little interview with David talking about no cover and the record. And they're actually, so next Thursday, the same time, I think it's like around 10 o'clock next Thursday, they're going to play another second part of the interview, and I think they're going to play Wiedersehen again. So tune in to your local station for Hard Drive XL next Thursday.
Yeah, no, I did that down in San Antonio a couple weeks ago, right? As well, I think where we getting ready to go to rehearsal or something, I think, right?
Yeah.
And so super, super cool, man. And did you see there's this other one too? Is it Metal Talk?
Metaltalk.net. And a great review.
Yeah, that review is amazing. And then he was at the KK Downing show that we did at Steel Mill last year, almost exactly a year ago. Yeah, he was there. I sent it over to Andy.
Speaking of fucking amazing.
What you got?
Oh, no, I said, speaking of fucking amazing, I'm talking about the KK Downing show.
Speaking of which, for my birthday, I got this book, which was one of my only birthday requests, and I got it. I actually started to read the kind of the introduction prologue. Super awesome. Of course, I read KK's book, and, the Priest guys are friends, professional friends. KK more kind of as a buddy now, since we got to hang with him for almost a week up there. But Rob, it's funny, Rob, so we did the Judas Priest, we did the Painkiller, and that was Megadeth for us. It was the Rest in Peace tour. So
that was a Testament, right?
And Testament, yep. And you could see, you could just see the tensions in the band, and of course, you don't know, because these are your heroes and you see this stuff. And then, then right after that, Rob quits Judas Priest to go on to do Fight. And it's interesting reading in KK's book that he was going to quit Priest, but by the time he landed in LA, Rob had already quit. So he decided to stay in the band for the next decade or so. And, probably longer, next 20 years, I guess. But it was interesting how, Rob went off to do Fight. I remember when he played here in town, and I went down to see him. It was at a cool little club. Of course, Russ Parrish played in that. So I had a band in the 2000s, about 2003 or kind of 2003 through 8, something like that. At 5, we covered Nailed to the Gun, one of the kind of premier Fight songs. And
which we covered again on No Cover.
Yeah, which is cool because Rob always liked that I covered that. I told him that we had done that, and he was happy, because I know what that's like, because you're in big Judas Priest, I'm in Megadeth. Those songs, when people cover them, those are kind of the obvious go-to ones. But when you have sort of a side passion project like fight probably was for him. He was excited that, that we paid attention to that, and I feel good because like on No Cover, we did both Free Will Burning, which is your choice. And then we did Nailed to the Gun, which
was a pretty fucking mutual choice. I mean, I love that record. I love that song.
Here's what I was going to say. The funny thing was I had my phone, and literally the first couple of days we were putting this No Cover record together, I get a YouTube notification saying, check out F5's Nailed to the Gun. Remember, and I hit you and Andy, and I'm like, oh my God, we got to do Nailed. And then you said, dude, we got to get Russ Parrish, who's Satchel in Steel Panther,
we did.
for those that don't know. Yeah, and so we got him. I hit him right away. He had just played with me and Frank Bello. I had this bass line that it's called Leviathan, and I had nothing. That's all it was. It was a bass line, and our producer Jay Rustin said, "Let's call Russ and have him put something on it." And it's just killer, man. So yeah, it's great to have Russ. So Russ covered Russ in Fight on the Fight song. Did anybody else cover? Well, yeah, Eddie Ojeda covered himself on Twisted Sister. Hey, speaking of which, here it is. The new Combat Napalm in the Morning.
There it is.
It was Tom's idea to do this. We talked about doing a new cover, a new coffee rather, for and look at the back label. It's fucking awesome.
Awesome.
So cool.
Melody Myers. Melody
did that. Yep. So I brought up the idea of doing a new coffee for Christmas. Tom came up with the Combat Napalm in the Morning. Melody rocked the graphics. So that's how we roll. We are we're the monkeys.
People say we'll monkey around. And you can order that right now at ellefsoncoffee.com. Right now, for a little while longer, David signs every bag as it goes out. That's not going to happen much longer. We're about to go to a new fulfillment situation, so get it while you can.
Get it while you can. Yep, I actually thought we stole a little trinket and a little thing from around the house in there for you guys. So, but yeah, I'm kind of doing that just for this last order. So grab these Combat Napalm in the Morning. So EllefsonCoffeeCo.com is where that dude rad ministry shirt. Where'd you get that?
Puck hockey, baby. It's a puck hockey.
Oh, nice.
Puck hockey ministry. I know, isn't it dope?
Yeah, it's super cool. I know they had an Australian tour swag blowout. They were trying I think, but the one shirt I liked, they only had, it was a chick shirt. So they didn't have it as like a dude shirt, so I couldn't get it. But
I mean, you're a rock star. You can wear a chick shirt. You can totally.
I can. I don't think they had any left. I think it was gone. So, and then see what else. So put up today. Actually, Tom put up a couple days. A couple days ago, the Midwest tour dates starting next Wednesday, Pekin, Illinois. Thursday, Indianapolis, and then Chicago on Friday and Green Bay on Saturday. So look, we're very clear here. Okay. The governors are shutting states down. The Chicago show will possibly be moved.
It will go on. I mean, like if we haven't, we have a backup plan in the event something happens. We have a backup venue, but as of right now, it's going to stay where it is. But if anything changes, we'll let everybody. Green Bay, everything else is on. I mean, like Indiana, they just have a capacity. It's 25%. Well, that's fine because it's like 1,000 capacity place or something. So plenty of room. Again, Green. We've all been selling them as kind of limited capacity. So look, we'll
have masks.
Yeah, we'll all be wearing our masks. We have masks you can buy from us too. If you don't have a mask, you can buy a fancy Ellefson mask and wear it when you meet us, and then you can look really cool.
And you can even sing through it, as Bumblefoot has shown us on stage. You can actually these are singers' masks.
The new Sword single is awesome, and those guys are actually here tonight with us. Mike Plant and Rick Hughes are going to be joining us in a minute over here to talk about that new Sword single, In Command, that came out today on Bandcamp. swordmetalized.bandcamp.com. You can pick it up. In 2 weeks, on the 27th, it will be on all digital platforms, and we're working on a plan for their first full-length album in 30 years is going to come out. We're talking early 2021. We were kind of just chatting before the broadcast. I'm posting the link right now to the Bandcamp if you want to go buy it. You can go check it out. Also, our new single, Sheer Heart Attack, Queen, came out today. So,
which is why I had to wear the shirt. I have the zombie-ized queen. Forgot the guy who does these, rockzombie.com. Because he's got a cool Ozzy and Randy Rhoads one, you know, the infamous shot with Ozzy holding Randy.
Yeah,
I saw this. They got this at the HorrorCon up in Providence, Rhode Island. I met this guy, and so I was like, dude, I got to get some horror shirts. So this is kind of cool.
Wait,
so anyway, yeah, it works.
Wait, did you say horror shirts or whore shirts? I mean, because those are two entirely different things.
Look, you can take a horror shirt, cut it up, slash the sleeves, and do whatever, you know, chicks of that nature do, and then it becomes not a horror shirt.
All right. So I got a question for you, Dave. You haven't seen any of this. Nobody's seen any of this. I got a little teaser of the kind of work in progress of the Riff Raff video. If anybody would like to see it, yeah, Melody's working on the video right now. Anybody else want to see a little Melody Myers teaser of the new Riff Raff video featuring Dave Lombardo and Jason McMaster?
Let's do it. Let's see it. Yeah, I didn't know you had it. I just heard some music in the background. I thought you were just like riffing and playing some tunes off.
No, she just sent it to me. Said here, she's been frantically working to get like a teaser done so we could show some of it tonight. And it might change a little bit, but I got like the first 2 minutes of it, which on Riff Raff is basically almost instrumental because there's like a 9-minute intro. But
yeah. So it's so funny. This. Well, look, play it. I want to see the video.
Yeah, let's check it out. Yeah. All right.
Let's do it. Yeah, it's awesome, man.
Give me a sec. Let me get this shit going.
Very first AC/DC song I ever heard was.
Was it really?
Yep, that's first one.
Awesome. I did not know that. I learn all these new things about you all the time, like during the process.
Because they were on the Power Age tour, and the Power Age live album was "If You Want Blood" with Bon Scott, and that was the Needle Drop first song. And it's a live show. It's on YouTube. It's from Glasgow. The whole show of that album is on Glasgow, and it's fucking awesome, man. Those guys were so badass, man. They were just. And then I went to see them, ironically, with Cheap Trick.
And they're still pretty badass. The new album just came out today.
Yeah, I got to get that, man. I got to actually go buy a copy of that. In fact, you know what? I'm going to do that right now. While we're doing that, I'm going to go to iTunes and support my favorite artists.
Good.
Like I always do.
Here you go.
Go buy the new AC/DC record. Yeah, let's do this. Let's rock this. Oh man, come on, is it?
There you have it.
That's all we get? Oh, man. Come on.
That's why it's called a teaser, Dave.
I guess so. It is a tease indeed. Dude, that looks rad. That looks awesome.
Isn't that awesome?
So we shot that. So we went to San Antonio 2 weeks ago to do those 3 shows. We had 2 nights of rehearsal. We all flew in, went straight to the rehearsal, and then basically shot 2 music videos, and that was one of them. And
and it's going to be coming out.
Yeah, no, I was just going to say, Jason McMaster, thank you for bringing your team. And they masked up, they shot video, and Melody was there, and Melody's been working on editing that. That is freaking awesome. And Dave Lombardo in there.
Yeah.
You know, again, a man who is very selective about his appearances. So we thank you, Dave Lombardo, for your gracious performance on the record, as well as giving us some video of, he just got done. He was promoting the Mr. Bungle record. So he was pretty deep in that. So he was kind enough to take a couple of minutes and give us some video for that. So thank you.
So I got to answer Jay's question. So who sings on No Cover? I do, but there's obviously a bunch of guests. Jason McMaster sings with me on Free Will Burnin' and Eat the Rich. On Riff Raff, he actually kind of does the lead vocal, and I do background stuff. Andy Freeman sings with me on Fight, and he actually sings Over the Mountain. And Sweet is Todd Kearns from Slash. And Mark Slaughter sings with me on Fastway. It's all in the track list, and there's a lot of cool guests. Jacob Bunton from Mick Mars does some stuff on there. But to answer your question, I'm the singer on it, but we have a couple guests. Al Jorgensen sings with me on Off Wiedersehen. So it's Brandon Yeagley from Crowbots.
Honestly, it's funny because, I've done obviously Metal Allegiance records, which are pretty in-depth, pretty extensive. Especially the first record had a lot of guests. The second record, we intentionally kind of thinned it out a little bit. But, getting different vocalists to sing on things. One of the things I personally like with No Cover that I've really grown to appreciate as we were mixing it, and now I just get to listen to it in my car driving around as a fan. In fact, I forgot my car even had a CD player. That's how long it's been since I've listened to CDs. We usually, we send Dropbox files and we send files around. And I buy everything on iTunes, even our own stuff. I always support the cause. I spend the $10 and I buy all my friends' records just to put a little money in the bank for them. And but one of the things I came to what's that?
Go ahead. No, I was just saying, speaking of our friends, why don't we bring Mr. Bumblefoot in to enjoy this glorious moment with us?
And vocalists. So speaking to what I was saying is the vocal orchestration on this record is amazing. In fact, Ron, I was telling somebody in an interview this week,
as evidence in sheer heart attack.
Well, yeah, sheer heart attack, and it's funny because I was talking about. It's funny. I was in choir as a kid, right? Like I think in junior high, I was in choir, and I did it for a year. It wasn't my thing, but it was okay. It was fun to learn, kind of, the musical side of it. But it's funny with sheer heart attack. Ron really lined out the vocal. Then we added Tom below with the bass, and then we had Doro on top with a sort of, what would that be? If she's not a soprano, she would be an alto.
She's kind of an alto. Yeah.
Alto, I would say. Ron, what are you? You're traditionally a tenor, I guess, right?
Oh, I don't know. It's whatever the song is.
You're a double neck. That's what
yeah.
It's a new breed of singer.
Most of the time, I guess it would be tenor.
Tenor.
Yeah.
Fretless tenor.
Fretless tenor.
Yeah. Where did we get the idea for the Def Leppard cover? Me and David were on the phone figuring out what Def Leppard song to do, and we decided on Wasted. And I just randomly out of my ass said, dude, it'd be awesome to do for the cover. We were talking about doing something kind of funny and kind of cheeky. It's a cover record, so we don't want anything too serious, and something kind of homage, which is sort of what I've been thinking. And I said, dude, we should do like kind of an homage to the On Through the Night cover, but put your bass in the back of the semi. And we both kind of had a laugh and said, dude, that'd be awesome. And I went I went and told Melody, and she pulled it off, and it looks amazing. So we just want to
be like this, right?
Yeah.
The bass. There you go.
Not how you want to store your bass when you're traveling, for the record.
Yeah, on the back of a truck with the headstock sticking out. Yeah, in the winter storm. But that's how Def Leppard does it, because that's how rad they are. So we're gonna try it too.
Yeah. Well,
one truck for each guitar, each bass. They have a truck.
Exactly. Each guy gets a truck.
Ron would need a truck for each neck.
Yeah. Yeah, double wide. It's like a double wide. You'd have the police behind you, right, going down the road, taking up the entire freeway. Maiden Chick, any tips for beginning bass players? Well, I always say take some lessons. Learn not only how to play the bass, but taking lessons will also help you learn how to play music. It's always good. I'm so thankful I got, as much as I hated to learn to play the Wurlitzer organ as a kid, and had to take lessons from the church organist, and it was just, it was hateful. But the discipline of it taught me what it takes to become a musician, and I learned to read bass and treble clef, and bass and treble clef, and and I learned music. So then when it came time, like a couple years later, I actually kind of self-taught myself originally to play bass because I could read music books. And I bought Hal Leonard or Mel Bay electric bass. Yeah. Like volume 1 and 2. And I just sat there and I could read the notes, so I could actually teach myself how to play a little bit, And then from there, then you kind of call your friends up, and it's funny how the people you get connected to when you learn which friends are playing instruments, That's how I met my friend Greg Handebit, is over a conversation about Kiss in the hallway in 5th grade or something, He was new in town, and he was a bit of a hellraiser, and he was having a hard time integrating in, and suddenly we happened to meet in the hallway and talk about Kiss, and then we became lifelong friends, and so the guitar was his way to integrate into the city life of Jackson, Minnesota.
Right. So I think we're gonna have a riot on our hands if we don't get these SWORD guys in here. Yeah. So let's talk about SWORD. So how were you introduced to SWORD? And there's a history there with you and the band.
Yeah. Where so I remember we were on the Peace Cells tour, and we had a sound man. His nickname was Smacky, and I won't go into the backstory, but you can only imagine.
It's Megadeth. You can figure it out.
Yeah, exactly. So we were going into Montreal, and he mixed front of house, I believe, for this band called SWORD, and they had a record called Metalized. They had an awesome song called Stoned Again, and just a great record. It was definitely not a thrash record, but not a hair band record either. And they're from Canada, and so we would drive around in our motorhome on the Peace Cells tour listening to this album just relentlessly. I think it was when we were on the King Diamond tour in 1986, before Peace Cells. Capitol Records was setting up and manufacturing the Peace Cells album, and our agent Andy Summers put us out on a summer run with King Diamond, who had just gone solo for Merciful Fate. And Mickey D was playing drums with him, Timmy Grabber, his guitar player Andy is still there, Andy LaRock. That was, and then didn't meet the SWORD guys for many years. And then Tom brought them back home here to Combat. So,
and here we are. And
without further ado, let's say hello to SWORD.
Mr. Rick Hughes and Mr. Mike Plant.
Hey, dudes, what's happening?
Hey, guys.
What's going on? What's happening?
Hey.
Nice to join in.
Yeah. Hey, Dave, by the way, that coffee would be really good in these mugs.
I agree. Let's do a collaboration
tell you what,
right there.
Get me a mug. I'll get you some coffee. Get us a mug.
All right. You're on.
I can do that. We know a guy. That's awesome.
Yeah.
So did I get the timeline? I think I did, right, on Metalized, your debut album, I believe. The debut album?
Yes.
That's right.
Okay.
That's right.
And Smacky, what was Smacky's real name? What was his first and last name?
Mike Umstattd.
Mike, that's right.
Mike Umstattd.
Such a simple name. Yeah, that's right. Yeah. And he was wonderful. And he worked for you guys, right? He mixed sound for you guys. I think he worked with you in Montreal.
Oh, yeah.
Yep. Yeah.
Very close
That's
friend.
right.
Very, very close friend of ours.
Yeah.
At that
Serious sound guy.
He was great. I mean, he mixed us on the Peace Cells tour for I mean, months, you know, through the first 1986. And I forgot if he mixed us on the Alice Cooper tour, but yeah, he was great sound man. So it's funny. So about 2 years ago, we put out a record. Thom, being the fan that he is, God bless him, found a master of yours that you guys were opening for Motorhead at the Hammersmith Odeon. No Sleep Till Hammersmith. Not that tour, I don't think, but it was a record. It was a live album, and we put that out for you guys. Give us the backstory on that, because you guys toured with Metallica and Motorhead and everybody in the late '80s, and you know we were all kind of on the same tours with different, you know, you guys, Slaughter, Tesla, Megadeth, Metallica. We were all on the Anthrax. We were all on Maiden and all these different tours, you know. So give us the backstory of that record.
Yeah, but that was recorded the 2 last shows of the UK tour. That was a rock and roll tour.
Okay.
Motorhead album, rock and roll.
Yeah.
And we played the whole month all over the UK. And it was the last 2 shows at the Hammersmith. And after I think it was the first night after the set in the bus, after the show in the bus, our sound man came back in the bus with a cassette. And he said, "I got the show tonight," and we listened to it. And the energy was. We've been playing for a month almost every night. So by that time we were, you know, red hot.
Yeah, you're right.
So
hey, someone just made a comment here. Someone just, not to interrupt you, but someone just made a comment here that Lars had personally chosen you guys to open for them on the Master of Puppets tour. And I assume that was probably right as Jason Newsted had joined the band. Am I right?
No, that was Master of Puppets, so that would have been
Master of Puppets. Yeah, it was on Master of Puppets, but Jason had just joined the band. Those dates were the first dates that Jason played with them, right?
I think so, right, Rick?
David, yeah, exactly, David.
Wow.
Just to put in perspective, when it happened, you know, we were big fans of Megadeth and Metallica. We'd listen to you guys all the time. I was at home. I was at home.
Right.
The manager calls me. He says, "Are you sitting down?" I says, "Yeah, what's the problem?" He says, No, listen, Rick. I just got a phone call. You're going on tour with Metallica. They're flipping on your album." And we would listen to their album and yours.
Yeah.
A-side, B-side, A-side in the car. Hey, Mike?
Oh yeah. Whenever we would we had a car that was the band's car, and we all, the 4, get into that car, and we listen to the Megadeth, Metallica, blasting all the time. And it's funny that I would hear stories about you guys listening to our album at the same time, only across the continent. That's really,
we're in the US.
That's really something.
Yeah,
but
we're in the US.
But listen to this, guys. Listen to this. So the manager tells me that. So I go, "Are you serious?" He says, Yeah, you're hopping on the tour next month. So, man, they're starting to put some ad on the TVs, and we see that on the TV here in Montreal. Metallica with Metal Church, Sword, and everybody would talk about that. And then tragedy struck.
Oh, yeah. Well,
So we had to postpone the tour. So tragedy struck big time, as everybody knows. That's when they lost Cliff. So they put another date. So we go, okay, so we'll meet them, but later. So the advertisements start back on TV. And James Hetfield breaks an arm skateboarding. They canceled the tour for a month.
That was put back twice, that one.
Maybe they should have put you guys off the bill. Maybe you were the problem. You guys were like bad voodoo or something.
No.
Maybe it was Metal Church. Maybe it was Metal Church.
Metal Church. Funny, Michael Alago, who's got a great movie called Who the Fuck Is This Guy? Great movie. One of the great A&R guys, signed Metallica to Elektra, signed Metal Church to Elektra, was actually courting me and Dave to sign Megadeth to Elektra. We ended up on Capitol.
Okay.
But yeah, wow, what a I know they had a run of. I know when James broke his arm, it was skateboarding or something, right? Wasn't it?
That's what
Right.
it was. Yeah.
Right.
Wow. Yeah. Wow.
So
So then the tour finally happened, right? I assume.
exactly.
That's
So
right.
we finally get to meet them, and we were like starstruck and not realizing that we're about to meet guys the same age as us,
Yep.
the same background.
Yeah.
I mean, loving the same type of music. So, Mike, you remember first sound check? We're doing our metalized stuff, and then we open our eyes, and all the guys for Metallica, Jason, you said, were just like this on stage listening to us, So we stopped the song. I remember like it was yesterday. We stopped the song. And then they go, no, finish the song. Finish it. We love that song. Finish it.
Yeah.
Start back where.
Yeah.
That was mind blowing.
Because we're all fans, man. We're all
That was
fans.
mind blowing to us.
Yeah.
How could these guys that like we look up to can dig our music was beyond us, man.
Yeah.
It's like, whoa.
Metallica
shit.
are cool like that, man. I mean, think about the bands Metallica has broken. I mean, look, Sam Hain, The Misfits, Diamond Head, Merciful Fate. I mean, there's a whole backstory of they could, again, they've kind of done their own no cover album at times, right? With Garage Days and stuff. I mean, Garage Days have given careers, I mean, legitimate modern day careers to bands that would have definitely probably been in the Where Are They Now file because they just never had enough of a push at that time. And Metallica, because they're fans, because they're cool, because they go back and they're unapologetic. And, I mean, the Misfits tattoo from Cliff. I mean, look at how many Misfits shirts there are just because of that tattoo that Cliff had, and James would wear the Sam Hain t-shirt. So it's, I know it's so cool, isn't it? Well, I'm glad, it's funny. Our friend Elaine Bouchard here, I think I'm saying his name right. He was saying Sword should be on the next Mega Cruise. I was thinking the same thing on Mega Cruise a year ago. And I thought, man, as soon as we get a new album out with you guys, that would be the thing to pitch now. So maybe on the Mega Cruise 2, we can get Sword on there. I'm sure Dave would be into it, man. He loves you guys. So
yeah, well, you have to sell me on that because I'm not too fond of boats. But
well, I tell you what,
I know.
We'll make the deal. You can play the sail away.
I'm not too fond of boats.
You can do the sail away show, right?
Right?
Yeah. Then you can play and then get off the boat and then bye, bon voyage.
Really?
Yeah,
okay.
Right.
Will a helicopter be waiting for me?
Yeah.
I didn't know how I felt about the boat thing either until we did the Mega Cruise. It was fun, man. It was kind of. I had a couple panic attacks being
it's
stuck
cool,
in
man.
that
It's funny. Yeah. John 5 did the sail away cruise in San Diego, and I remember the cops came on and shut the whole thing down. So you stop playing, boat, get out of here, leave. Because San Diego, it's a pretty peaceful, sleepy little area down there. And they, so John 5, he tore it up. But yeah, it's great, man. It's funny. We did the sail away cruise, Tom, remember, up at the Avalon, which is across the street from Capitol Records there in Hollywood. And Armored Saint and UFO played, and Kirk Hammett was there. Kirk had just bought that Les Paul we see everywhere, right? Because he bought it from it was
Greenie.
It was Peter Green's Les Paul. Yeah,
Greenie.
Exactly. And then it was Gary Moore's. He holds on to that thing like it's his kid.
Oh,
that thing
absolutely.
never leaves his sight,
Of course.
But it's fun. He got
Probably
up and he
sleeps
jammed
with
with
it.
he jammed with UFO, and it was friggin' awesome, man. So yeah, the cruises are cool, man. They're especially the Mega Cruise. The Mega Cruise, the Mega Cruise really had a footprint from Hollywood, obviously down to Long Beach where it sailed, to San Diego, down into Mexico. That's when Lamb of God jumped on, I think, down in Mexico, and then sailed up. And it was, I was putting together some all-star jams and stuff, and I was like, when the hell? People are getting on and off the boat. So yeah, there are ways to. You don't have to be man overboard. There's ways to get on and off, and you'll be good.
Okay.
Hey, so tell us about the new album. Tell us about the new album. You got this new album coming up. Let's fill us in.
Yeah. Well, finally, we've been working on it since about 2011. When we got a few offers to do a few shows locally, and we spoke to each other and said, yeah, let's do it. And after that, we had a page on Facebook, and more and more people going on it, and like requesting like new music. Will we ever hear some new Sword? So we kind of went, yeah, let's do it. And we've been working on putting together songs ever since, you know, for that time. And now we're ready. It's ready, man.
Well, and here's a funny thing. So, Rick, you were doing a motorcycle cruise, like kind of like a Harley ride across North America. And remember, you came into Phoenix and you called me up, and I went down to whatever, the DoubleTree Hotel down by the airport. And we sat in your pickup truck and like a couple of teenagers, like fucking Wayne's World, and just totally rocked out to the new Sword. You were playing me some of the new mixes, and it was awesome. And you know, you're that guy that when you listen to stuff with it, you're like, oh my God, listen to this part. Oh my God, listen to how fucking heavy this is. Like, you can sell fucking ice to an Eskimo. And when you're listening to your band, which is you're so passionate about your music, I love that. I love that, man. It's so fucking cool. So.
That's me. That's my Italian side.
Yeah. We really worked hard on this one, you know, and we worked with Glenn Robinson, great engineer. He made us sound really good, and I think the songs are pretty strong,
great.
You know.
It sounds great, man. I mean, to me, sitting in your pickup truck listening to it, or sitting in your Ford F-150 just cranking the shit out of it. And I remember it reminded me of like being in the motorhome with Metalized. It like had that same impact, you know, modern, cool, great tones, sounded great. Songs were awesome. So I can't wait to hear this. So
thank you so much.
Yeah, thanks very much. Thanks very much. Yeah.
And so the conversation before we went live was, okay, we've talked about us with our friend Mitch LaFon trying to get the Ellefson band up there to play with you. We could kind of just do the Canadian highway of like Quebec City, Montreal, Toronto, Ottawa, London, whatever, that whole little stretch in there, right? And then, because you know, it's funny, we did a Bass Story tour, which was kind of the precursor to the Ellefson band, because Ron did it with us. We went up into what was it, Buffalo, and over to Niagara Falls. Remember, we spent Thanksgiving in Niagara Falls, I think, right? Didn't we?
We did. We ate at a casino buffet.
Yeah, and Ron just said
seven plates of turkey.
He was already in Canada doing that same run. So yeah, we got to make that happen, man. We got to somehow or another make that happen. Get over the border to do.
Yeah, that'll be real cool.
Yeah, totally cool.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
I agree.
just don't make us have to buy
Possibly
on. I know you guys are big rock stars now after playing with Metallica. Just go easy on us so we don't have to buy on. And
Yeah. No trouble.
No problem. $1 million and you can come play with us.
$1 million.
$1 million.
Okay.
He's like, okay, 1 million it is. I like it. Sounds good.
But you know, David, I don't know how you guys work on your material, but you were asking the questions to talk about the album, and I was thinking about that today. And these guys, Mike, my brother Dan, and Mike LaRock, the original members of SWORD, back then and today, it's like the same exact chemistry that we had before that we're having right now. And it's very simple. The chemistry is that when we rehearse and we work on our material, it's not an happening. There's nobody's invited. We're always alone, and we take our stuff really seriously. And we're always alone.
Yeah.
Sometimes we have guests, but it's a special occasion because when we
sometimes you just want feedback out of people, but of course when we build the song and we're alone, you know, we're working,
and we're pushing ourselves. We're pushing ourselves constantly. Mike is always on my brother's case.
I'm a bit of a slave driver in this band. I got to push people. Right. But, you know, everybody's, you know, we work fine together.
Well, you know what also is cool? Not only do you guys sound great, but you look great. You know what I mean? And that's a big thing. I remember Craig Gass.
Come on,
Dave. I remember the comedian Craig Gass.
$1 million.
Yeah.
$1 million. Now make it $2 million. No. I remember Craig Gass came out to see Megadeth. I don't know. It was, the
Well,
comedian.
let me tell you one thing, Mr. Ellefson. You're a hunka burning love.
Ooh, the hunk of the month.
He's the hunk of the month right here,
Hunk of the
kids.
month right here. Hey.
Fine to me.
You're getting all Italian on me now. Hey.
You know what
Forget
keeps
about
us,
it. Forget about it.
Yeah.
You know what keeps us young, right? We play hockey around here.
That's true. That is true.
We play hockey around here.
No, but you know what? It's important. It is, because you know what? Our fans remember us in a moment in time. And so obviously we have new fans that come into our sphere by our latest record, and they become our newest fans. But there's fans that remember, and they go back to the legacy. And look, we're in rock and roll, man. We're on stage. We're in the public's eye, and you can change haircuts and change shirts, and time moves on. But
speak for yourself.
It's important to look good. You know what I mean? It is. It's part of what we do, man. It's I mean, look at Bumblefoot over there. He's fucking looking like a freaking iconic god, just like he did from the beginning. And he's at home on a day off, still looking like a god.
We should make a calendar.
It's a fucking fugazi.
I'd be January.
November.
You'd be
September.
November?
Yeah,
October?
we got to split the November.
All right, we'll be November together.
And no rules. No rules. I mean,
I could ease up into October because there's Halloween, and that's a spooky holiday. So I could bend the rules. I'll give Tom November, and then I'll roll up into October.
no rules.
No rules.
No rules.
So what is the plan now with COVID? How are things in Canada? What's going on up there with is it like it is everywhere else in the world? Things are locked down, shut down.
Yeah, well, we all expected the second wave to hit hard, and it's happening all over.
Yeah, I know.
We're not. We don't have a curfew like they have. I think it's in Europe, and is it in France? They have a curfew.
Yep.
No.
But
everybody's hostage to the situation right now.
I know. Well, there's this vaccine.
Everybody's an hostage to the situation.
This vaccine. So look, we, that's what we're hoping for. That, and obviously,
exactly. It's going to happen.
It's going to have to.
I'm not so sure about a vaccine. It sounds pretty early to have a vaccine.
Well, when something's crippling the world, they work a little harder, So let's give it up for Pfizer, man. Hopefully that they're 90% through testing on a effective.
Yeah, 95.
We'll yeah, I mean, look, God
90%. That's pretty good.
Yeah, remember in school? Remember we actually used to have to stand in the line and go through and get. It wasn't polio, but it was like some shot we always. Then the mumps or measles or something. You had to get that shot in the arm. I just remember as kids, like that was
in school.
Yeah, in school. Yeah, now it seems like
you got that in school.
Like dictatorship kind of level. All kids must be like Pink Floyd or something. Like all children must be vaccinated. But we did. I mean, and so just in our lifetime. We've had to go through this before. And I mean, those illnesses are now stamped out and they don't really even exist anymore. And, so look, who knows? Unprecedented times, I guess, right? So
real quick, I want to address somebody asked what show of our Midwest tour got, nothing's postponed. All the shows are on. We just said that because there was a lockdown in Chicago and we just said we have a backup venue if for some reason something did happen and we couldn't do the show at the original venue. But as of now, nothing is postponed. Everything is good to go. So
perfect.
Yep, that's it. Someone's here saying, here's the big four of Canada. So Annihilator, Exciter, Razor, Sword, Anvil, Sacrifice. Holy hell. Yeah, that's
Voivod.
It's like the big eight. Yeah, Voivod.
And for the record, that's not our slaughter. That's the other slaughter.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's the other slaughter. And let's see who else. Coney Hatch. We should probably throw Honeymoon Suite and Loverboy in there and just make it a full-on festival.
Yeah. Rush. No.
Rush.
No.
Yeah.
Not anymore.
Killer Dwarfs.
Not anymore.
Killer Dwarfs.
Yeah.
Killer Dwarfs.
See, it's
Can't
like
forget
Slayer. Slayer's not around, so we can't do a big four. Rush isn't around, so now we can't do a big four of Canada with them now. So we got to leave them out.
Well, we'll have to do the big four thrash of Canada, I guess.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah. Annihilator and Sword, that'd be a cool one. You guys friends with Jeff Waters? I mean, he grew up down the street from you.
Well, we played with one of the shows we did. One of the shows we did in Quebec City in 2012, I think it is. 2011, 2012.
Yeah.
Was with the Annihilator.
Oh, yeah, nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Really cool guys.
You know, we
We
saw
love
Jeff.
Jeff.
You know, it's funny. Jeff called me up and asked me to help officiate his wedding, which I did over in Las Vegas. And then, and Jeff, you know, Jeff, he's I love the guy. I've been such a fan. It was my idea to reach out to him to join Megadeth, but back in 1989, but Annihilator was blowing up, obviously. And so, you know, it's just been fun to get to know him over the years. And then, you know, we're such goofy dudes. He goes, dude, let's go see the Backstreet Boys tonight. I'm like, you like the Backstreet Boys? He goes, oh, I love the Backstreet Boys. I go, all right, let's do it. So he buys tickets to go see. We're down in the pit, the mosh pit of the Backstreet Boys. You know, like you go see Metallica, the snake pit. We're in the Backstreet Boys snake pit, right?
Wow.
All these chicks tripping on Molly, and you know, it's like, whoa, this is like a weird scene down here. So we only hung for a little while. So I got my Backstreet Boy fix in. I'm good.
Oh God!
Backstreet,
with Jeff Waters from Annihilator. That's how metal that moment was, right? So,
Jeez.
but Jeff lives in London now. It's funny. Remember Tom when we were over in when we were doing our run a year ago? We played Club Legend there in Milan, and
He came and hung out in Italy. Yep.
he came and hung out in Italy, and then he played like the night before us, or
He
something.
played the night before us, I think.
Yep, that was cool.
Oh yeah, and me and him have kept in touch since then, and we chat on text and WhatsApp, and man, he's a cool dude, man. I really like Jeff, and I love Annihilator, man. I always loved Annihilator, so it's cool to kind of have a rapport with the guy now.
But something funny happened when we played with them in Quebec. We were opening for them, and but we have quite a good following in Quebec, so. During the day, we were doing our sound check. The guys weren't there. So when the show started, we kind of burned the stage. I mean, people were waiting for us for 15 years. Can you imagine?
Yeah.
So they finally see us. So the crowd was going nuts. So
yeah, that was a real cool.
In the middle of the show, the guys from Annihilator were right on the side of the stage where we were playing, and they were watching the show with the crowd. Yeah.
You're like the most watched band by famous rock stars, right? Like, because I'm sure if you're on the Mega Cruise or whatever date we do together at some point, we'll be the same thing. Me and Dave will be over there like fanboying on playing Play Stoned again. You know?
Wow.
That's gonna be something.
Come on,
that's gonna be something.
Yeah.
There's our boy Mitch Lafon in the house.
Yep. Mitch Mitch almost deserves like a sort of like A&R credit. He's like our talent scout across Canada, you know.
A finder's fee.
Finder's fee, yeah.
Let's not get carried away with the finder's fee, but
yeah, okay.
A big thank you. $1 billion.
Yeah, we can. I tell you what, we can do. We can pay in coffee as our currency. So,
but we have to tell the story, though. We have to tell the story because Mitch gave me a call because he knew we were back together and writing working on some new material, and he knew that you guys, Dave and Tom, had put Combat back in order. And we're looking for some new bands to sign. So Mitch called me and he says, Rick, you want me to reach out to David Ellefson and Tom and talk? Because I think they're fans. I says, go right ahead. And it took 24 hours and we were talking.
Nice.
Thanks, Mitch.
Yeah. Thank you, Mitch.
Thanks, Mitch.
We're gonna fast track this one, as they say in the music business, right? We're gonna fast track this.
Okay. Fast track. It's only been 2.5 years.
Yeah.
That is a fast track for us.
Exactly. Well, we just needed masters, you know. That's all. So, you know,
you go.
Rick was doing a Harley tour. You know, stuff was going on. You know.
We're doing
I know
different things.
people are commenting that like, well, we're sitting here bullshitting. Bumble's back there just serenading the whole thing, like keeping the peace, playing.
I'm just here with my mute on, just looking at you guys. All these great stories. I'm loving this.
Nice.
And it's cool to see Mitch here too.
Yeah.
Mitch, last year, that story I was telling you before we went live, when I brought COVID to Canada, Mitch was there. He was at the show. Yeah.
When you brought COVID to Canada. Yeah. Okay, let's hear this story, Ron. You got to tell it. Are you?
Ron's new nickname is the Super Spreader, by the way.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm like patient zero.
He's patient zero. Yes, exactly. That's a great album title, dude. Patient Zero. It's fucking metal right there. Okay, so give us the story. Give us the story about how you brought COVID to Canada.
Well, I brought something to Canada. I'm not sure what the hell it was, but I got it from a penguin. That's a long story. You don't want to know. But I was for real. I was in South Africa.
So you were having intimate relations with a penguin.
Very
don't touch it.
But we digress. Yeah.
So yeah.
Oh, we digressed. All right.
South Africa. It was the end of October in South Africa, and I went to visit a bunch of penguins at this beach. And then I got really sick, and I went right to Eastern Canada, and I brought this weird penguin Ebola with me. And Mitch can vouch for me. We were going to do an interview, but I literally couldn't even speak. So what I was doing for the show, I had to improvise. So I was doing a lot of instrumental, and then in order to interact with the audience, I would just type in messages into my phone, and I found an app that'll just, whatever I type, it'll speak the words in Stephen Hawking's voice. So I was telling the story of how I fucked a penguin. And Stephen Hawking saying this whole story of how it all went down, and that it probably made the show better. But
isn't that the story of evolution?
Pretty much the new evolution.
And then Ron fucked a penguin.
And then I went to Canada and brought it to that continent.
Brought it to Canada.
And then just magically after that, just to stir the shit even more, right after that, I went to China, right as Wuhan, right as everything broke out. So I was in China during all of that, and then went to Indonesia and Vietnam, and then back to the U.S. So I'm pretty much the spread. I'm the cause of all this.
It was not a bat at all. It was Bumblefoot.
That's funny.
Yeah, it wasn't a bat. It was a penguin.
Yeah. Leaving a trail of destruction everywhere you go. I know. Now, look, we're all locked down because of you, Ron.
Yeah.
That's funny.
Yeah.
Thanks a lot, man.
Yeah.
All because of your lust for a penguin.
Yes.
I like the birds.
They're kind of cute.
They are cute. The little walk.
I like the bird.
I can't resist the little bird bug.
They go like this.
It's like Austin Powers. We got to hit the button and flip you back into the shark tank now. Yeah. That's it. You're out.
Yeah. Eject.
But not before we do the tour next week.
Mitch was there. Mitch was there for that. Not the penguin fucking, but when I got to Canada.
Well, that was an intimate moment, so you couldn't have him there for that.
Yeah.
Thanks for sharing.
Yeah. So now we know the world of how COVID has spread around the world, thanks to our friend Bumblefoot.
Yeah, you don't need a bat, you fuck a penguin.
Yeah, well, hoping that when it goes away, we can play together.
Fucking A, we're going to do that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That'd be awesome.
Awesome, guys. Well, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you, guys.
Our pleasure.
Thank you guys for having us.
Yeah, good to see you. I'm so glad the record's done and we're rocking it. So
hope everybody likes the new single.
Everybody go check it out. swordmetalized.bandcamp.com. Go check out our new single, Ellefson Sheer Heart Attack, a cover of the legendary Queen, now on all digital outlets and off Wiedersehen and Riff Raff. Dude, how cool was that Riff Raff video?
Oh, it's so cool. When is that coming out?
Very cool.
What's the timeline?
Sometime this week.
Okay. But as in next week.
Yeah, exactly. This coming week. Yeah. Sometime this coming week. We could watch it again to take us out. Should we watch it again?
Let's do it. Let's do it. Watch us take it out. Ron, we'll see you next week in Pekin, Illinois.
See you soon.
Yeah.
And congratulations, Sword guys.
Yeah.
Thanks, man. Nice meeting you.
Nice meeting you.
Nice meeting you guys.
Good to see you, gentlemen. Yeah.
All right, Sword, we love you.
And remember, it's not Penguin, Illinois. It's Pekin. So just
don't get aroused.
Let's rock this.
It is, again. How great is that? You guys are all muted.
It's super awesome.
It's over.
All right, gentlemen, we will see you next week in Pekin, Illinois. And as we mentioned earlier, if any changes come up, we will let you know.
Stay tuned to the social media, but everything's good. Pick up your VIP dinner tickets, which I'm going to post the link to those. Again, you can find them on empmerch.com. Pick those up. Come hang out with me and David and have some dinner and have a little private experience. Some other cool announcements coming this week. So definitely stay in touch. Keep up with us on the socials, and we love you guys.
Yeah. Rock and roll. Thank you for the birthday wishes. You rock. Another year older, another year heavier.
It is Jason McMaster on vocals.